Hey guys, it's Rachel and welcome back. Today I thought I would give my personal opinion on an issue that is pretty prevalent here in the beauty community and actually the internet as a whole, and that is cancel culture. Let me begin by saying that I have an opinion on this issue, and it may be different from your opinion on this issue, and that's okay. I'm interested to hear what other people's opinions are on cancel culture, as long as it is done with respect. And I think I'm going to make my point on that in a minute. So, you can agree with me or disagree with me. Let's just be kind to one another. So let's start out. What is cancel culture? This is just a definition that I've come up with on my own. I think cancel culture is boycotting a person or a brand with absolutely no intention of ever forgiving them for one or more instances. You can see evidence of this all over the internet. Someone does something that someone doesn't like, all of a sudden, you're canceled. I think that cancel culture is different from boycotting, if that makes sense. The definition of boycott, I'm going to read it from over here. To withdraw from commercial or social relations with a country, organization, or person as a punishment or protest. What I always thought boycotting was, and still do, is you're refusing to buy a product, be associated with a company or shop somewhere because of something that they did in order for them to change what they're trying to do. So, for example, if I'm going to boycott X store because they didn't pay their workers enough, I would not support them until they started paying their workers enough, and then I would go back and I would feel different about buying from them again, and I would reassess that. Different from cancel culture, which is to say, I am never buying from them again. They should have never made that mistake in the first place. Does that make sense? That's just what I thought the difference was. That when you boycott something, you're boycotting it until things change, and then you go back. But if you're canceling it, you're never, ever going back. There are a lot of instances of that here on YouTube where someone says something or does something that people deem inappropriate, immoral, yada, 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 and some people would boycott that person and say, I am not going to watch you, buy from you, or support you until you've got your act together. If that person or brand has apologized and changed their ways, they might go back and buy from them again or watch them again. However, some people cancel them altogether. You're a terrible person. If you did this one time, you're going to do it again. I don't want anything to do with you. I'm never coming back to you. And there are also varying degrees in between, yes, I'll go back, no, I'll never go back. I think what the two examples I just gave are both ends of the pendulum of forgiving someone and never forgiving someone. And I think most people out there fall somewhere in between. Just with any other issue that's out there these days, I feel like there can be a good side to some things and a bad side to some things. So let's go ahead and I will tell you what I think both sides of the coin represent. The good thing about boycotting a brand, or maybe even canceling them altogether depending on what they did, is that it can affect positively social change and progression. Things that are deemed immoral and wrong can be changed if nobody supports that person because they're being, unfair, racist, sexist. If they've gotten away with crime, that can have a positive outcome. And I think that that's a good thing. It will allow me as a consumer to vote with my dollar and with the views that I give online media. And I also deem that as something that is very good. That gives me a platform to express how I feel. And in that same vein, it can lead people to feel like they've kind of done their part when they've not supported someone or something, and that their voice has been heard. They feel like they've helped an issue that matters to them. I also think that it helps in aiding, at least me, to keeping my conscience clear and being able to live with myself knowing I didn't support something that I deemed wrong. So those are the good things that I see with calling people out and boycotting somebody, even canceling them altogether, because sometimes a brand or a person has done something so incredibly egregious, they are not going to win back forgiveness. So what are some bad repercussions or for lack of a better word, consequences? The other side of the coin when it comes to this kind of culture. If it's done in haste or without any research whatsoever, it could ruin lives and reputations of people before it's been thoroughly looked at. I think one of the downsides to cancel culture is people can be very, very, very quick to cancel someone before they know all the details, and they're judging a person or a situation based on things that they don't know. I think it can be done without knowing all the facts first. And I think that can be very, very bad. I think another side effect of this cancel culture is that it can turn people into mob mentality, or kind of like a hive mind. They're not thinking for themselves. It has the ability to turn people into negative cynics who are always on the lookout for anything anybody does wrong so that they have a reason to cancel them. Therefore, anybody and everybody can become a victim of this cancel culture without proper research done and facts being put straight. I also think that it kind of creates tunnel vision. You know, there's the theory out there that says the first piece of information a person receives is the one that's going to have the strongest effect on what they think and their opinion on that piece of information. So if somebody comes out slandering somebody else before the facts are all brought out, most people are going to believe what they heard first. And people are not going to be able to see other things and to stop and just take a breath and look. That's just the way human nature is. So if we're really, really quick to jump on a bandwagon and cancel people without knowing everything first, whatever somebody said out there to begin with is what I think we have the most tendency to believe. And that's not right. Not in this girl's opinion. So what are my personal opinions on this whole cancel culture thing? I think that using your dollar to support companies and your views here on YouTube, on other websites where you're looking in on things, the news, things like that, I think that is very, very important. If someone has done something that you disagree with and you want to cancel them, not supporting them in the way of not buying from them, not watching them, that is, I think, the most powerful thing that you can do to make change. So if I'm uncomfortable with a person or a business, I'm not going to buy from them. I'm not going to watch them online. That is my way of not supporting them. However, I will not go after them with anger and hate in an online forum and type out what I think of these people angrily. What I would rather do is wait a beat. I need to process the situation. I need to process how I feel before I respond. I think that is very, very important. I want to gain more info on a topic first because my situational awareness is like this big. I don't know everything. So I want to wait before I explode, I guess you could say. And after all that is done, then I will make a choice on how I want to respond. Most of the time, I respond by, like I said, using my dollar or my views. I very rarely will voice opinions, especially when they have not been asked of me. And if I do, I'm not going to put emotions into what I say because that's gotten me in trouble before. If I were to go in and just angrily type things, I would not be thinking straight. I would be allowing my feelings to overtake me and to dictate my actions. And feelings don't last. I have come to know myself, and if something upsets me, I need to sit in it and I need to process it. I need to journal it out. I need to, that's how I usually get anger out in the first place, is writing things down. Nobody's gonna see it. It's private. I can say whatever I want, and I get all of that unpleasantness out of my system before I respond in a more put together way. I don't believe that the online comment section of any place is the most effective way to bring about change. It encourages an environment of shame, and I don't think shame actually changes anything. It may temporarily silence someone, but did their thoughts and feelings and their moral integrity actually change to the way you wanted because you made them feel shame? Not in my experience. If somebody were to make me feel ashamed, I would not change my ways. I would blame the person who shamed me instead. I would get defensive. I would not take what they said and actually really think about that because of the way they said it. If they formulated an opinion that was well thought out, that had no emotional charge in there, and that was intelligent and very toned down, I think at least me, I would be much more receptive to what they had to say, as long as they said it very well. Even if they did not agree with me, even if they were putting me in their place, as long as they were doing it in a well-mannered way, I would be much more receptive to that than trying to shame people into doing things my way. Think about this. Think about the way you were raised. When you would get into trouble, what way would actually change your behavior? If you were made to feel terrible and ashamed of yourself, yeah, you might not do it again, but that's only because you were afraid. Now, if the parent was here to say, I'm disappointed in you and it's not going to happen again, I won't allow it, but they love you, I would definitely change my behavior versus someone who I was afraid of. And I think the same thing applies to shame in an online comment section, which is where cancel culture lives and breathes. I think a lot of cancel culture isn't just you're done, it's you're done and I am gonna put you on blast. I think that's the big, huge difference between just boycotting something and cancel culture, is that here on the internet, people feel like they need to be heard in ways that are very hurtful. I think that if boycotting or canceling somebody based on your own personal convictions, when done with respect, is great. If you're doing it and you know you're not going to get any attention from it, go right ahead. I think that that's awesome. You know, you're following your heart. But if you're doing it quickly and because everybody else has jumped on this bandwagon, if you're unforgiving and you don't have all the facts, I think that that can be dangerous. I especially cannot support the idea that if you do not agree with me in the way that I do things and what I think, then you're a terrible person. I can't support that. I can't. Especially if you're voicing it out loud. I can think that. I can say, I really don't want to be around that person anymore, but I don't have to say anything. It is not my job on this planet to be the morality police. And some of you out there may terribly disagree with me. You may not like any of the things that I had to say, but that's my opinion and I'm sticking to it. Just because I don't hop on the comment section and bandwagon immediately doesn't mean I don't care about something. Just because I don't publicly shame something that I disagree with doesn't mean I don't care about it. So while I do support you standing up for beliefs and boycotting things. I don't support this cancel culture where you're not allowed to make any mistakes ever. You're not allowed to have a past. You're not allowed to apologize for things that you've done in the past, because then you're still canceled, and you're humiliated. Sometimes there are very, very good reasons to not support someone. And whether you want to support them or not, that is your choice. But that's my whole point, I think, with this video, is that you have a choice. And what I really don't support is going after each other here on the internet because somebody else makes a different choice from you. You know, death threats, terrible language, that kind of thing that goes along with cancel culture. It has no place here on my channel, and it has no place in my life. If we want to talk about it respectfully, absolutely. Hate and quick to judge isn't welcome here. I hope that I have, as eloquently as I can, explained my thoughts on this issue, and I will always welcome different opinions from my own here on this channel. Again, as I've said, as long as this is done with respect and thought, because I want other people to treat each other with some civility. You don't have to like each other, you don't even have to respect each other, but you do have to treat each other with respect and kindness on my channel. So, what do you think about cancel culture? Put your comment down below and let me know. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe before you leave, and I'll catch you later.